Welcome once again. This is News Tonight at 10. My name is Patricia Lukoma, and straight away into the bulletin. President Yoweri Museveni has officiated over the opening of the two-day Namunkekera Layo Shen Industry Park Trade Asho and Baraza in Kapeka, Nakaseke district, with a call to Ugandans to embrace industrialization, noting that it's the only game changer which will drive Uganda out of poverty. Museveni also hailed General Salim Saleh for the tirelessly embracing development.
One by one, dignitaries led by the Vice President of Uganda, Jessica Alupo, arrived at the Liao grounds to grace this year's Namunkekera Liao Shen Industrial Park Trade Show and Bazaar.
General Salim Saleh, we are so grateful. We thank you. We are here and we are here to serve.
In the afternoon, His Excellence, the President of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, joined the event.
Informing you that His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, has arrived.
President Museveni, in company of the Vice President, ministers, investors and members of the private sector, inspected different stalls at the trade show. Shortly after the anthems and prayers, it was now time for speeches.
The whole nation of Israel assembled together at Shiloh.
We have 30 factories, 21 in operating, 9 under construction.
Your Excellency, this industrial park is a hybrid of agro and manufacturing.
We believe in 2 years' time we shall have achieved all the factories 28 under operation.
Other speeches came from the ministers of Luwero Triangle, privatization and investments, and that of trade and industry.
Over the past 8 years, Namunkekera Industrial Park has demonstrated what visionary leadership and deliberate government policies can achieve when aligned with private sector ambitions.
Recently, I saw Ugandans, a section of Ugandans talking about Chinatown. And what were they selling in Chinatown? Your Excellency, can you imagine? They were being happy about products which are manufactured by Chinese and being sold in Uganda. They are shining our products.
The strategic objectives of NRIM government is to industrialize Uganda through value addition to local materials.
The gathering was also addressed by the Vice President of Uganda, Jessica Alupo.
And Your Excellency, by improving the local manufacturing capacity, this industrial park is supporting Uganda's import substitution, while at the same time growing trade opportunities for our country within and outside the East African region.
In his address to the communities of Kapeka and the country at large, President Museveni expressed the need to industrialize Uganda.
Kapeka is one of them. The seeds fell on fertile ground. And I want to thank my words, because when I was in China, when I met this governor of the province of the northeast of China, and he was talking about industrial parks, I think that's how I said, no, I know where there's land where you can have an industrial park. I think that's how I linked him with General Saleh. But as you have seen, in 9 years, not a long time, they have already translated the idea into reality.
He saluted the National Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation, also the brain behind Kapeka Industrial Park, General Salim Saleh.
General Saleh had bought this land from East Mengo. When we were fighting here, there was a coffee factory. I think they were also growing some pineapples, I remember. And it was being managed by Chofa, the father of our minister now. That's how I remember Namunkekera during the war. There was also a ginnery, a cotton ginnery down there near the barracks, near Kansiri. So General Saleh, when he bought this land, at one time he wanted me to come and farm here, but I said no, farm where I am. You keep that land for greater use. So I want to thank General Saleh for his foresight in getting this land, which came in handy when we wanted where to put an industrial park.
President Museveni promised to extend more support towards this initiative.
The products which are being produced here, we are going to protect them by tax. I don't know why that should be a problem. Anything that is being manufactured here, we are going to put a tax on rival products which are coming from outside the East African community. I don't know why that one is a problem. On the issue of supporting the farmers to supply goods to the agro-industries here, I'm ready to give you the 4-point-something billion, but in the new financial year, not now.
To the people of Nakaseke and Kapeka, Mr. Museveni implored them to embrace the opportunities which come along with the industrial park. The two-day trade fair will conclude on Saturday, 28 September 2024. Mario Nawori and Robert Onyango for UBC.
The First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni has officially launched the Emerging Leaders Program at a ceremony held at Makerere University. According to the First Lady, the program is designed to ensure that university graduates possess the necessary characters to successfully navigate life's challenges post-campus.
Mrs. Museveni described the launch as a significant milestone aimed at instilling moral discipline in the younger generation while nurturing transformative leaders for the future.
Today, we are gathered here in these numbers under the huge tree which came out of a mustard seed now called the Emerging Leaders Program. It is needless to say, therefore, that this is a program that I hold dear in my heart because it has the potential to nurture the young generation of Uganda's leaders and to shape the destiny of our nation.
She emphasized the urgent need for such an initiative given the growing number of youth engaging in unproductive activities such as sports betting.
Especially through what is commonly known as sports betting, that has led to many university students dropping out of school. For a long time, this state of affairs has been a real burden in my heart, and I have desired to help our young people rise above it. Over the past few years, we have all experienced our young people grapple with many challenges, such as alcohol, drug and other substance abuse, sexual immorality and gambling. And I understand gambling is spreading widely among our youth.
This pioneering program aims to ensure that students graduate not only with academic knowledge, but also with the character and skills to face the complexities of the 21st century.
Drug abuse. 57 first-year students, which is 6.8%, have used and are still using drugs. Another 17 students, that is 3.6, used drugs before but reported having stopped. Of the continuing students, 80%, which is 7.7, are using drugs. Another 69, which is 6.6%, reported they had used drugs before but had now stopped.
The stress that follows these developments has in many cases led to the loss of the ability by students to study and staff to carry on with their duties. Cases of suicide among students have been recorded globally. It is an urgent necessity to tackle this problem in order to ensure the health of our emerging leaders.
Over 130 students and 40 lecturers have already undergone training to serve as facilitators of the program, helping to advance its core principles of character and integrity building. Crispus Arinitswe, UBC News.
The First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has commended the proprietors of Noah's Ark Children and Youth Ministry, Papa Piet and Mama Peter Puidejek, for the dedication of the caring for the children of all ages with various needs. Mrs. Museveni inaugurated facilities at Noah's Ark Children's Home and a primary school renovated by Tororo Cement and a new secondary vocation examination hall constructed by the Vasani Group.
The event was part of celebration marking 25 years of Noah's Ark ministry in Uganda. The vibrant ceremony, featuring performances by the children, was attended by notable figures. Noah's Ark, a Christian organization, was founded in 1999 by Mr. Peter Piet and a wife in their rented home. Since 2006, the organization has expanded to a large compound in Kalagala on the outskirts of Mukono. It now encompasses a children's home with small-scale family units, a medical clinic, a primary school, a secondary vocational school, a church and other facilities. The organization cares for abandoned and vulnerable children of all ages. Mrs. Museveni expressed gratitude to the founders of Noah's Ark, who traveled from Holland to Uganda, answering God's call to care for abandoned and vulnerable babies.
Coming to Noah's Ark really is another truly humbling experience for me, and I'm sure for many others who come here from time to time. It's amazing that a man and his wife came to Uganda and decided to help the children who needed all the help they could get. Children whom they were picking from dust bins and rubbish bins and toilets, and they bring them. The way they hold hands, they hold the babies and feed them on bottles and feed them with syringes, and it's an amazing experience.
The First Lady noted the significance of the name Noah's Ark, drawing parallels to the biblical story where Noah's Ark provided shelter and refuge. She further described Noah's Ark Children and Youth Center as a beacon of hope, offering a better life and future for those whose destinies are being transformed. Mrs. Museveni cautioned the youth against associating with peers who might lead them astray, emphasizing the destructive potential of negative influences.
Today, young people in this country and across the globe face immense peer pressure that leads to immorality, HIV and AIDS, pregnancy, and school dropouts. Honor your bodies because you are the temple of the Holy Spirit, and avoid the company of the wicked who seek to defile you.
Papa Biet shared that he and his wife, Mama Peter, started Noah's Ark out of their love for children. He admitted the journey hasn't been easy, often breaking his heart.
Digging children out with my own hands out of pit latrines is the most horrible thing you can ever see in a nation. If I didn't know that God wanted me to be here and serve in this nation, I would have given up a long time ago.
Reporting for UBC, Waguma William.
The State Minister for Fisheries, Helen Ador, has expressed the need for a special fund to support the fishing industry. While officiating at the conclusion of the Geese project, the Sustainable Fisheries Initiative in Ginger District, she reiterated that existing government development programs are insufficient for the fishing community.
The Ministry of Fisheries has issued a directive promoting sustainable fishing practices, but it has left fishermen to find difficulties to survive. Since then, fishermen, particularly those struggling to survive, have turned to President Museveni, appealing to intervene in their concerns.
It will assist us and bring back the fishing of silverfish. It could be better without giving us to suffer like that. We have domestic violence every time. It is raising. We don't have freedom, and our rights has been spoiled as women in the fishing community.
In this dialogue we are just talking, FPUs are not there, and their commanders are not here. And down there they are going to harass the fishermen. So they should come out with clear guidelines, clear regulations, so that the common man should take over the lake and understand how to manage it.
Winnie Nalukenge, the director of the National Fisheries Resource Research Institute, states that measures are being done to sustainable fishing.
If they can only concentrate in the layers where these small fishes are, that should inform policy. The other thing that we are recommending, we have observed from the work that we're doing that most Mukene fishers are fishing at least 21 days in a month, translating with the dark phases of the month. So we are proposing that at least during the light, when the moon is full, they shouldn't be fishing.
As NARO, we are committed to continue working with you to generate all the technologies that you need for the fishery sector and for our mother ministry.
The move is not aimed at halting fishing practices, but to improve sustainability.
The ministry has been very clear and re-emphasized that what we have banned is the fishing using hurry-up method. So the ministry has not banned the fishing of silverfish. They have allowed other alternative methods, and we all know those other alternative methods.
The engagement took place in the presence of members of parliament who equally voiced their concerns.
Victoria covers 3 countries, Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania. And what I've heard is that in other places it is illegal to fish mature fish, but very legal to fish younger fish or immature fish. And what Ugandan fishmongers have done, they have relocated to Kenya and Tanzania. So that one now calls for the East African community to ensure that we have uniform laws regarding our lake.
Surveillance force will be made up of people who are civilians trained by police to come and man our waters. So efforts are being done by Parliament to make sure that Ugandans get regulations and we go for harmonized fishing.
The National Dialogue on the Sustainable Coexisting of Multi-Species in Uganda water bodies has been held under the theme Fisheries at Crossroads, unveiling myths and realities for sustainable coexistence. Andrew Sebila compiled this report.
Now, the financial landscape of Uganda is witnessing a significant transformation with the establishment of the Uganda National 9th Parliament Sacco, chaired by Honorable Rosemary Seninde, Director of NRA Mobilization. This Sacco represents a beacon of hope for financial empowerment and vital steps to revitalize the cooperative movement in the country. Let's hear more.
During the launch, Honorable Francis Mwebesa, the Minister of Trade, who represented the Vice President, commended this initiative as a milestone for Uganda's cooperative sector. He highlighted the importance of strong governance, transparency, and leveraging the members' diverse networks to ensure sustainability, growth, and success.
Parliament has always been an incubator of great ideas, which are later transformed and carried to the constituencies of the respective MP during the probably even after their term of service. Parliament has also been a place where the concept of humanity, of caring of others, particularly those who are that we present and carrying out for one another and it comes alive.
The chairperson, Uganda 9th Parliamentary Sacco, Rosemary Seninde, emphasized the need to learn from past challenges faced by other SACCOs and to build on the existing strength of the cooperative.
We are happy that this SACCO is intended to make members be able to develop themselves. We need development, we need to be good examples in our communities, and we need to be a good example to the country. Because we know many members of parliament, after losing positions in parliament, they think there is no life after parliament. So this SACCO is intended to help members appreciate that there is life after parliament. And one can do well, can be able to develop, and can be very useful.
With a broad membership that spreads across the country and even the diaspora, the SACCO is well positioned to attract more members and resources, making it a model for future cooperative ventures in Uganda.
We already have a parliamentary SACCO, which has all former members of parliament, including the sitting members of parliament. But this one is strictly for former members of parliament. Initially, it was for only the 9th parliament, but now we have agreed to bring even other members of parliament on board, other former members of parliament on board.
The Uganda National 9th Parliamentary Sacco aims to tap into investment opportunities in sectors like real estate, agriculture, tourism and more, aligning itself with global best practices in cooperative development.
They have to exhibit the ideals of all the cooperative societies, free entry, free exit, and they have to have common purposes, and they must adapt to accounting standards, adopt modern standards of management, then they will grow.
The formation of the Uganda 9th Parliamentary Sacco will focus on financial inclusion, economic growth and sustainable development. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, in cybersecurity, stakeholders in the technology industry are urging government to revise cybersecurity regulations to keep the pace with the rapidly evolving tech landscape. Midima Security, with partners, have launched a month-long cybersecurity awareness week, advocating for clear regulations and promote digital literacy.
The fourth industrial revolution is characterized by rapidly evolving technology that often outpaces existing legal frameworks. This has left communities vulnerable to exploitation by tech predators, and some punitive measures are perceived as inadequate.
As more criminals get to understand these gaps in the law, they will become bold enough, knowing that if I have 15 billion, 20 billion that I have collected from this attack, I can go and serve any time. They can give you 1 year, they can give you 2 years, they can give you community service. So I think that is something that is a big question, and it creates a very big gap in terms of the punitive action of the law.
Cybersecurity experts are urging the government to establish a faster legal mechanism to keep up with the changing tech landscape. In lieu of this, Midima Security Limited has launched a month-long awareness campaign aimed at educating vulnerable communities on how to navigate technology-related risks.
When we look at the bigger picture of 15 billion has been lost, it's easy to imagine, well, I don't have 15 billion. Surely it's not going to be me. No, it will be you. So this is why we must look at it from that small, teeny tiny impact that we see.
As financial institutions, some institutions have formed cybersecurity committees, especially over weekends. Those who monitor transactions over weekends.
The Ministry of ICT and National Guidance plans to incorporate international legal conventions to hold accountable those involved in cyber-related crimes, particularly since many offenders reside overseas.
And, some of the solutions we're looking at ratification of some of the conventions, the EU convention, there's the AU convention as well. Some of those international legal instruments, we may have to ratify them such that we can have international crime.
So, as much as we might not be able to wipe away the threat internally, we have created systems, we have created mechanisms internally that help us keep an eye on some of these behavioral changes. As I've mentioned, the human being is a very complicated animal. It's very difficult for me to determine your emotion when I leave this room.
Their campaign specifically targets small and medium-sized enterprises, especially SACCOs and microfinances, which often employ unskilled workers, exposing business stakeholders to cybersecurity threats. Abdul Nasser Lubwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Now over to Mabende. Residents of Manyogaseka in the Central District of Kasanda have been cautioned, have been asked relevant agencies to issue them with land titles to enable them develop themselves. This follows claims that the land they currently occupy in their 3,000 is a forest reserve.
It's very simple. I've been following His Excellency the President. He has instructed the NFA and the Ministry to cancel forest reserves, the inactive ones. They have been cancelled and the titles have been given to the community. The cases in Kakumiro Chibala around there. The name of the forest reserve as of my head, but I'll get it. He gave out the forest reserve and titles were given to the community. A similar incident happened in Nakasongola. I remember when Mutebi told me about it. When I know Mutebi Wanza as my brother. He told me about it that in his constituency, forest reserve were cancelled and titles were given to the community. So our humble prayer to the President and the government in general that consider the development which is happening in this place. Let this forest reserve be cancelled. Let it be cancelled from the map because it's inactive. It is not there on the ground, and the land is given to the community.
And the challenge that we've had is that when you get to NFA, sometimes you find that there are correspondences that have come up where they claim this place is a forest reserve. But then you have also another correspondence coming from still the same authority informing the Wananchi that this is not a forest reserve. And there are titles that have been made on this particular area. And when the Wananchi go ahead to also go and start the process of acquiring titles, they are rejected. They are told that this is a forest reserve. Yet you find that there are other people that have gotten titles on this same land. So what we need is clarification from government.
I can say the forest reserve is inactive. Nothing is happening here. You are going to see that in this community, there are government secondary schools. We have a 6 secondary school there where the government has put about 2.5 billion. You are going to see it. We have an NSS center constructed by government. We have churches. We have upcoming trading centers. But when you go to those people in NFA, they say, no, they are where you are is a forest reserve.
Ugandans have been cautioned against escalating the already increased cases of child labor in the country. State Minister for Gender, Labor and Social Development, Esther Nyakun, decries the situation, which she says could be a threat to Uganda's future generation. This was during the closeout meeting of work dubbed No Child's Business in Kampala, where different stakeholders discussed solutions to curbing the child labor situation in the country.
Uganda's current figures of child labor stand at 6.2 million child laborers. This is according to a 2021 report by Uganda Bureau of Statistics. It indicates that the country experienced an increase of child laborers from 14% in 2016 to 2017 financial year to 39.5% in 2021, excluding household chores. These figures have left State Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Esther Nyakun, worried.
As government, we remain committed to ensuring that all children have access to free, quality education, while in Central, preventing child labour government.
Members of Parliament from Karamoja and other well wishers, we need to ensure that the bill is passed so that all the children in Karamoja enjoy their rights of education.
In an effort to reduce child labor in the eastern parts of Uganda, the organization, Work No Child's Business, under the Netherlands government, has for the past 5 years engaged with the local government to promote education in the region and combat child labor.
The Netherlands, we welcome the measures taken by the government of Uganda to address the challenge of child labor, especially with the establishment of the National Steering Committee on Child Labor in 2021 and the adoption and the implementation of the National Action Plan on the Elimination of Child Labor, the NAP2. However, the past years in which the program was implemented were difficult for Uganda. Schools in Uganda were closed for almost 2 years, which affected all children.
The initiative is coming to an end in the districts of Nakapiripirit, Busia and Moroto. Local leaders pledge to continue the fight against the vice through concerted efforts.
We as leaders, we shall make sure that we address the policy gaps that support the flourishing of civil society organizations in this country.
For us as leaders from Karamoja, we need to also support and fire up all the systems such that it comes true. The outcome 3, private sector taking full responsibility for preventing and addressing child labor. I'm happy to say there's a lot we have done with the private sector.
For now, Karamoja sub-region still has a 53.1% of child laborers. Marion Awori for UBC.
Now, Kyambogo University's Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering and Building Engineering Students Association Friday organized a Green Friday event at the university grounds under the theme Impact of Civil.
Engineering students from Kyambogo University under the umbrella of Civil and Environmental Engineering and the Civil and Building Engineering Students Association organized a Green Friday to encourage sustainable practices within the engineering community, such as tree planting, to reduce the carbon footprint and promote environment conservation.
We chose to hold this Green Friday because we are trying to promote the culture of environmental conservation among the students here at our department. We instill in them the culture of planting trees and conserving the environment. Being civil engineers, all our activities they affect the environment.
Acting Head of Department, Civil and Environmental Engineering, stated the mission of the event was achieved because the staff fully supported and engaged students in organizing the event. He further emphasized that the significant deforestation resulting from engineering projects promoted the initiative to instead encourage afforestation efforts.
Our activities, whatever we do, have an impact on the environment, and there is a need to counteract those impacts by planting more trees.
Do you think today's main mission and aim has been achieved?
Yes, it has been achieved because we have involved the students, and these are the students. These students are the ones who are going to take on the next generation.
Participants are committed to achieving SDGs to contribute to Vision 2040, highlighting that through tree planting, they have learned to reduce carbon footprints effectively.
To me, it encompasses very many aspects of our profession, especially on the impact that we have on the environment. We talk about the Sustainable Development Goals on climate change and how we're supposed to achieve them by 2040. The small thing that we've done today can be impactful in achieving those goals.
Is coming, and then the environment will change automatically. So we decided to plant our trees, to reduce on the carbon emission, so that we protect the environment.
The public is urged to actively participate in tree planting and environmental conservation, encouraging everyone to embrace these factors to enjoy a healthier, more vibrant nature without fatigue. In a bid to foster environmental sustainability, Kyambogo University's Faculty of Engineering today held a Green Friday. Students and staff both participated in tree planting to reduce carbon footprint. Ivan Tukundane reporting for UBC here at Kyambogo University.
Government has been asked to deliberately invest in the production of menstrual management products such as pads to ease access, especially for the vulnerable poor. According to research findings by Center for Health, Human Rights Development, Teso and Karamoja regions continue to witness high cases of school dropouts among girls due to reasons related to menstrual hygiene management.
Research conducted in the areas of Teso and Karamoja indicates that menstrual is largely still treated as a taboo, one that is associated with impurity, which leads to shame, embarrassment and seclusion.
Menstrual products amongst women and girls is a challenge. The reason is because the price is a bit high, but also actual access is a problem. So what they do, the girls rather sit in houses when they get into their menstruation periods, or they use their dirty clothes to be able to pad themselves, and this becomes a bit unhygienic for them and causes several diseases to them.
This, coupled with inadequate access to sanitary products, is allegedly fueling school dropout, especially among female learners.
This has impacted on people's availability in schools, because during the time when the girls are in their periods, they rather than absent from school. And the only way the community can know that, for example, Noor is in her periods is when they don't see me around, because the moment they're in their periods, they then sit in their huts until when the periods are over. Remember, periods take about 3-4 days.
While presiding over the National Policy Dialogue on matters relating to menstrual hygiene management, the Commissioner in charge of curative services at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Charles Olaro, sensitized stakeholders on dangers associated with poor menstrual hygiene management.
Aspect of menstrual health hygiene is responsible for, if not well managed, for school absenteeism and even drop out of school. So, and some of them definitely, after they have dropped out of school because it's of stigma, then they don't resume school.
It is against this background that stakeholders are now urging government to take deliberate steps in investing in the local product of menstrual products, a move that will reduce the cost of sanitary products, thus enable access by rural and poor communities.
As a Ugandan government, we need to move and invest in localization or local production of menstrual products to allow the women and girls have access to these products on a monthly basis. And I'm very sure the Minister of Gender can look into this, as well as Minister of Finance, so that we have an investment case as a Ugandan government for these particular regions.
It is on record that government reduced taxes on items used in the production of pads, a gesture that has since seen establishment of over 30 factories producing sanitary towels, in some measuring in reusable ones. It has, however, emerged that much as they are cost-effective, limited access to water in Karamoja region, the use of reusable pads is a nightmare.
Maybe the cost of electricity or water, because what is not taxed are the products coming in from China that we use to make the pads, but the electricity, the water taxes are still there. So if the government could get into an agreement to say, let us reduce this cost so that you also reduce the cost of menstrual products, perhaps we'll go somewhere, but the best option would be for localization. Because then
with these recommendations, advocates hope that the government will take action to address menstrual health challenges, providing greater access to affordable products and breaking down societal taboos. Story compiled by Maria Dana Namiro and Dokas Chimono.
Now, in the health sector, the acting hospital director, Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital, Dr. Deus Twesige, has highlighted the challenges hindering service delivery at the hospital. Dr. Twesige revealed this to the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Thomas Taiyewa, during his guided tour to the hospital.
We have limited infrastructure, that is very obvious. We actually making most of the ward rounds, and we are having wards under tents, under verandas, under the trees, and everywhere. You must have seen those tents. Actually, that tent never came because we have a surgical camp. It is stationed there, it is permanent, and much more tents. We have our patients who are getting cancer treatment. They are miserable, they have had illnesses for a long time, but they come and stay under that tent. Municipality, up to today when it is a city, he had come up with a good idea that we exchange with the police. There is land just adjacent here. It looked the most obvious space where we can exchange and expand to.
Of maintenance of this machine. CT scan. I think we should even be contracting at the center because they came from the center. So that the center can only send you teams to service. That would be the best. Service. We should be sending you teams to do maintenance and service for these machines. And we budget at the center so that money is not diverted to we don't have those choices. Because I have some audit queries that came with your hospitals. Okay? I have some issues, but now I'm focusing on how best we can help. But the little money we give you, please ensure you utilize it effectively. So thank you so much. I promise I'm going to be your ambassador.
Thank you. Now, locals in Nyachera sub-county in Tungamo district have expressed appreciation towards the non-government organization Advent Foundation for opening their community access roads.
As far as the Nyachera sub-county is concerned, this Bulungi Branch activity, we intend to cover 25 kilometers. In other sub-counties we have already worked. We worked, and still where we had not reached, we're going to reach there. Because we intended to cover at least 80 kilometers or 100 in the entire county. Under Bulungi Branch, we need production to increase. We need trade sales to go up. We need our pregnant mothers and wives to have good access. We need everyone to be having access to a good road network at the local level.
So our NRM government allows Bulungi Branch system. So we want to appreciate whoever comes to support these communities under this system of Bulungi Branch. These roads will help in transforming our communities, because these community access roads will help the community in transporting their goods to their markets.
I want to thank our brave Honorable Advan Babas for good services they bring for us, and I believe the Rohama East constituency, it will help us to transform the lives of people, most especially on border. These guys on border.
You see, this big man love the population of Rohama East. That's why he's dealing with infrastructure, which is a very important or a key to development.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby, don't know.
can now get all the chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Hey kids, we're going to count today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Stake 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Stake 10. Sports Stake 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win. Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by...
Uganda, are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Stake 10. Predict the results of 10 football games and... We are at Shiloh Standard Nursery and Primary School to reward our lucky winner again for our pay school fees with Momo. We are paying school fees for a student who is lucky because the parent used our codes to pay their school fees. You can as well be our winner for the next school fees prize by dialing *165 *80# and you opt into the competition.
Umiatia goensha ngoye simte luangene kanti bisho kwana tena anene wa poberane da kwani ba mi gum afu akwa yejo dusu metikere mba man me ma fen MTM kiken ba mi gum hi man.
Together we're unstoppable.
In
the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
Uganda Manufacturers Association celebrates 30 years of industrial excellence. Come and be part of the 30th UMA International Trade Fair at Lugogo from the 2nd to the 10th of October. We celebrate 30 years of industrial excellence with an education pavilion, an agricultural pavilion, and a job skills development pavilion for job seekers. There will be lots of fun, entertainment, and business opportunities. Come and be part of this great journey and milestones. Entrance fee is only 10,000 shillings. If you want an exhibition stall, call +256 0703 552 444 or visit the UMA website, powered by Total Energies, Hisense, Smart Tech, and Stanbic Bank.
And into the world of businesses, we look at access to credit. Postbank Uganda, in partnership with MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited, MTN Momo in abbreviation, have launched Extra Cash, which is a digital micro-lending solution that is positioned to extend short-term facilities to MTN Mobile Money subscribers.
Initiative is poised to provide the approximately 13 million mobile money upholders in the country with convenient access to financial assistance.
Financial inclusion has various components. They should have access to money, and that means they should be able to save, and they should be able to borrow when they need money. And very importantly, they should have some kind of appreciation how money can be used to improve themselves, to improve their well-being. And it's not just consumptive, but how you can use money to join development activity. You cannot do this through brick and mortar and opening branches. You must leverage technology, get the latest, the best you can have in terms of technology in order to achieve financial inclusion, to reach out to 40 million plus in the population of Uganda. So as part of driving financial inclusion, we must distribute credit. And we can't do it manually, we have to rely on technology.
It's an innovative solution that aims to address the growing demand for accessible credit, particularly for underserved and unbanked communities anytime and anywhere, or as and when they need it.
Because extra cash, when you look at our portfolio, our loan portfolio, is actually the fastest growing in terms of uptake. It's quite unique. It's a loan product that is short term, and there are customers that have needs that they have a need which doesn't last more than 24 hours, and they're able to put back the money. So we are very excited today to officially launch it. Jemima says that this product has been actually in existence for a couple of months, to be exact about 8 months.
This product not only delivers convenience, but also speaks of the purpose of Postbank and MTN Momo's fostering of prosperity for Ugandans.
We keep talking about financial inclusion every day. We are here to drive financial inclusion, but the true financial inclusion that we want to see at MTN Momo, at Postbank, as well as what Optasia is doing, is really extending credit to our customers that use our services on a daily basis.
This addition, whose eligibility is a 6 months active SIM card and for one above 18, highlights MTN Momo's commitment to financial inclusion and innovation, reinforcing the collaborative effort between both institutions in delivering impactful solutions to the Ugandan market.
Now back to Mubende land. Residents of Manyogaseka in the Central District of Kasanda have asked relevant agencies to issue them with land titles to enable them develop themselves. This follows claims that the land they currently occupy in their 3,000s is a forest reserve.
The State Minister for Fisheries, Helena Doa, is advocating for government to create a sustainable environment that supports development of the fishing industry. She highlighted that the industry is capital intensive and faces challenges from contemporary government-imposed regulations across various water bodies. The minister proposes the establishment of a special fund to support the sector.
That this sector is second to coffee and it needs a lot of attention. There is too much noise in it. The fishermen need real support. The majority of fishermen may not get help from PDM because PDM gives you 1 million and you cannot buy a boat of 1 million. A boat needs you to spend 3 million, then you have to get a nets that will need you almost 3 million. Then you need an engine of like 6 million.
At the closure of the Responsible Fisheries Business Chains project of GIZ, the minister underscored that high poverty levels among fishing communities contribute to non-compliance with government fishing regulations. She noted that existing programs such as Parish Development Model PDM and EMYOGA provide only minimal support for the sector.
If government does not put attention financially to the fishermen will continue depleting the lake, the fishermen will not sustain the lake, and because the poverty levels, especially among the youth, is so high that the youth push themselves to the lake, whether they are caught, whether they are not caught, they will push themselves there.
The GIZ initiative, which began in October 2016 and concluded in September 2024, aimed to equip the fishing community with modern sustainable fishing practices. Is centered on water bodies surrounding Lake Victoria.
When we are not managing the sector sustainably, we will run out of fish. The stocks will be depleted. So to kind of get everybody to accept that we have to do it sustainably, I think that was a big achievement that people realize, even fishermen realize, when they stick to the law and when they do leave, for an example, the undersized fish in there. In the long term, they have better catches.
To ensure the initiative was success, implementers collaborated with district fisheries officers and other extension workers, creating specialized training manuals on acceptable fishing practices for sustainability.
Processes which exist, and the district fisheries officers have always been there and they will be there. So by working with them, they will continue being the advisors to the sector. And that's what we did because we wanted sustainability.
We learned to separate business money from the other household money.
The initiative also focused on the fish value chain, addressing challenges faced by SMEs lacking proper business management skills such as record keeping, cost calculations, saving practices, and effective fish handling, including preservation, processing, and value addition. Abdul Nasir Lubwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
And in sports, Uganda Olympic Committee's Gender Equality and Diversity Commission has launched a campaign purposed towards upping the interests of women among sports federations. This, in turn, will be stepping stone in ending gender-based violence, mainly directed to girls and women.
It's evident that the number of women in sports globally is low compared to men. This despite the fact that the latest Olympics registered a historic achievement of a 50-50 entry for both genders. But in countries like Uganda, women's involvement is still far behind. It's the reason Uganda Olympic Committee's Gender Equality and Diversity Commission has launched a campaign that intends to attract women participation, but also safeguard the girl child in sports and society.
It's very important because, one, as the UOC, we, within our strategic plan, have one of the objectives as gender equality and mainstreaming gender equality across all our activities. And therefore, you members from the various federations who are here and we appreciate your time and presence are critical ambassadors in moving the gender equality agenda forward. And this is in line with the IOC Agenda 2020+5 agenda that our President Thomas Bach, who will shortly be in Uganda in October, is pushing to say that we need to have gender parity both on and off the field of play.
The symposium to launch this initiative was hosted at Kaboja International School, Buziga, and attracted participation from the 33 member federations of the Uganda Olympic Committee.
One of the takeaway from here is to ensure the leadership of your federation have at least a committee. A commission, you know the difference between a committee and a commission, or a task force or a working group on the gender within your federation. Otherwise, if you learn skills here, you don't have a structure to deliver that, you're not going to be impactful in your federation. So
the symposium also witnessed a moment's silence for the late Rebecca Cheptegei, who is the latest victim of gender-based violence, allegedly perpetuated within the sports sector.
Now, why did we have to come up with this? More times we look at all the leaders in the different federations, majority are men. There are some women there, which is very okay, but we wanted to make sure that each one of them recognizes that everyone brings in a voice that can make a change. Having seen what has been going on for quite some time, and the climax was when we had Cheptegei, when she had an issue, and before we knew it, we realized that it's not to point fingers to the perpetrator, but we also have a responsibility as federations, as UOC, to make sure that everybody is having a safe place.
Now, Prisons Woodball Club has ably defended its Buganda Land Board League title. In the women's category, Ministry of Public Service took the crown.
This is the third time around you are taking this trophy. What does this mean to Prisons?
Well, as Prisons, we are happy. We are ever challenged, but never equaled when it comes to the Woodball League. We have made a statement of intent to the rest of our teams that it will be very hard for them to defeat us when it comes to the league.
Yeah, Madam Nawir, tell us, what does this win mean to you, public service team?
We are so happy that we won today, but I know we would make it because our team has been training and we have been performing well. So we expected this win because we have talented players.
As organizers of the National League, which we have concluded today at Makerere, we are privileged that the league today has come to a conclusion, and we are concluding the league successfully, despite having gone through a very difficult competitive year, because in terms of finances, the finances have been very scarce. So many teams have faced financial challenges, even to support their individual teams and clubs.
Now, 5 new sports complexes worth over 10 billion shillings, supported by the World Bank through the USMED program, have now been handed over to the government. In West Nile, the refugee host district of Terego, Yumbe, Madi Okolo, Kyambogo and Kamwenja in the Midwest are home to the sporting facilities.
In 2019, World Bank awarded USMID $150 million for its project to improve social services, economic possibilities and environmental management for refugees and host communities. Each district of the refugee hosting districts of Terego, Yumbe, Madiokolo, Kyambogo and Kamwenja has a football pitch, netball, basketball and volleyball courts, as well as a jogging track.
I want to call upon the people of this area really to learn to use these facilities for better use. Particularly now you see these facilities. I'm very happy the way it has been designed. It is well fenced. Here first of all, it cannot have access to any other person to use it, but that should not stop people from coming to use the facility.
According to Kyambogo District Chief Administrative Officer, the investment in sports facilities funded by World Bank's Refugee Window component will increase community inclusion.
The government of the Republic of Uganda through USMID put 1.8 billion Uganda shillings. Initially it was 1.2, but it didn't include other scopes of works like retention wall and the perimeter wall, or the price variation became too much. So in total we ended up spending above the initial budget of 1.2. It went to 1.8 billion shillings.
The sporting facilities are expected to allow both citizens and foreigners in the refugee settlements to develop their athletic ability while also expanding the pool of potential.
To look into how we can best use these facilities to grow talent in this country. We are impressed that this kind of investment was made, but also we have managed to point out some of the key things that needs to be rectified to ensure that it meets the minimum standards that we demand of it as National Council of Sports.
These facilities are part of a network of 11 districts in Uganda that serve refugees. The USMID program also developed other infrastructure, such as community roads, resource centers and playgrounds.
And we believe that these projects are, as you have seen, well constructed. We believe that they will be utilized by the communities in promoting peaceful existence, promoting sports activities and the sports agenda of the country.
And lastly, in cricket, Uganda's U19 girls cricket team The Baby Victoria Pearls are in good spirits as they head into the semi-finals of the ICC Africa U19 Women's T20 World Cup qualifier that takes place tomorrow in Kigali, Rwanda.
The Uganda Under-19 girls cricket team is in full spirits and confident for tomorrow's semi-final against Zimbabwe in the ICC Africa Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup qualifiers happening in Kigali, Rwanda. To progress to the semi-finals, the girls topped Group A after defeating opponents Rwanda, Namibia and Kenya.
We've just finished our last training process for the semi-finals and the finals. The girls are ramped up. Everyone is fine. We have no injuries in camp, and for the best. We play against Zimbabwe tomorrow. Get enough analysis about them, and we shall win against them, inshallah. The girls are ready to fight, and yeah, we're coming strong tomorrow and Sunday as well in the finals.
To make it to the World Cup in Malaysia, the Baby Victoria Pearls will have to win the tournament because only the winner gets the chance to represent Africa at the 2025 ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup. Back in Uganda after a successful PNG Uganda tour, the Cricket Queens are heading to South Africa where they will have a training camp between the 30th of September and the 12th of October 2024. The team will have special training sessions in batting, bowling and fielding and will play 7 ODI games against South Africa's Titans franchise.
See, as far as last series is concerned, the result was decent. I'll say in the end it was 2-2, but I was looking better performances, but still we are in the preparatory phase. Now we are going to South Africa for another tough tour. So with the management I decided that we will try and play the tough opponents so that the boys are always under pressure, and once we go to Challenge League B in competition like that, we are more prepared than better prepared than previous occasions. Looking forward for the improvement in the batting lineup, and we are looking to put up a better scores in coming games, and that's what is that is the area where we are looking at. And as far as bowling is concerned, we are looking for better medium pace attack. I mean, the bowlers are same, but we are looking to stick to their lines actually. So more disciplined lines and more disciplined batting, that's what we are looking at. And what we have decided and what we are working is short selection.
The series against Papua New Guinea, and it was very challenging series as a better, and towards going to South Africa, it's going to be a good series. And we love playing in South Africa, and the way the teams we are playing, it's Titans. It's a first class team and they have good players. I hope they have some international players who are playing against us, and we will work on our especially our batting skill. And bowling we are good, but we have to need to work on even bowling.
This tour is part of the team's preparation for the first leg of the Challenge League B that will take place in November right here in Kampala, Uganda. Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
That brings us to the end of News Tonight at 10. Thank you so much for sticking it with us. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. Very good night to you, our viewer.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
My girl, she a Cinderella dance till a she fall off. She not care for money even if you're big and tough. She do it for the love. She a little shy till she tipsy. That the dancing, yeah.
Why cross halfway at no demabe? Am I just